Hi everyone, my name is Monique.
And I'm Naveen from Before You Play.
And welcome to our vlog.
Yes, our fall vlog.
Yes, it's been a while. I don't know how long it's been, actually.
Yeah, we used to do these fairly regularly. Now
Yeah.
it's a little bit less regular.
Yeah, we used to do them every month. I think at the very beginning of our channel, we did it maybe for about a year. And then it got really hard to do this. So we've made some changes recently, and now we're going to do quarterly vlogs. So this is
a good amount of time for us, yeah.
This is our fall vlog. We have a pumpkin back there. I don't know if you can see it. That is the only fall representative.
It's fake.
Of this. It is, yes, Naveen, thank you. And so today we figured we'd just give a few updates about what's been going on with us, as well as things that are coming up on our channel, and then we'll end with a giveaway. Mm-hmm. All right, so first thing is Dexter update.
Yes.
I don't know when the last time was that he was on the channel, so we figured we'd have him say hi. He's getting older, and the older he gets, the grumpier he gets.
Yeah, he just is. But he has met his cousin, his puppy cousin.
That's right.
Recently.
One of my sisters recently got a puppy, a little poodle, and she's probably going to be spending time with us for the holidays. So we figured Dexter needs to get along with this dog. And if anybody out there has a Dachshund or a miniature Dachshund, maybe you can relate that they're not the friendliest.
They look friendly.
They look so cute, but they're just so not social.
They're very protective.
Especially if you don't socialize them properly, which we're a little bit guilty of these days.
Yeah.
So we did have a little meeting session, and it went sort of well. We're doing like the slow method. If anybody out there is familiar with dog training, we just researched a bunch of tips, and they're like, have them meet at a distance and let them smell each other's,
distance.
Yeah. So that's what we did.
That was step one.
That was
like step half. Like,
it
really wasn't a full step.
They didn't really interact. It was a lot of Dexter, like just thinking he was at a park and then kind of seeing him from afar and barking at him a little bit and then going his way.
You bring him back though. So. He was like not just like insistent on barking at the other dog.
Right. If you have any advice for anybody out there who has had to introduce dogs into the home, we are all ears because this is very stressful.
We want them to get along during the holidays.
Please, Dexter, please. Otherwise, that's about it for Dexter. Otherwise, he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, well, his eye is also healed very well.
Oh, yeah.
He had his surgery several months ago, and he has not had it come back or anything like that. So
yeah. I almost forgot about it. That's how good it's been going.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put Dexter under the table now. All right. So if you caught the video that we made where we talked about our top 10 anticipated Essen releases, you'll know that we went on a trip recently. It was more of just a getaway. We for the past few years we haven't really been able to take just a vacation.
Most of our vacations for the past several years have been centered around board game events. Mm-hmm. So this one was one that was just exclusively just to go out and enjoy ourselves.
Yes, and it was really nice. Mm-hmm. We did play some board games, which is rare. We usually bring board games with us, and then they just sit there unless we have to make content for it. Then we're like, we should probably play it.
It's always like the night before a flight.
Yeah.
We'll go to the Calyx and to our little shelves with the small games. Mm-hmm. And like in the 11th hour, of packing, we're like, which game should we take? And then we end up taking like 7 games.
Yes.
Load them in the bag, make sure they're nice and safe so they don't get all ding and dented. Mm-hmm. They make it all the way to wherever we're going. And then we never open it, and then they bring them all the way back, and then we take it out of the suitcase and put it right back in the shelf.
And we feel shame every
single time. Sometimes we'll play like one of the 7.
It took up space in our luggage, sometimes in Naveen's backpack while we're traveling around. So this time, we made it a point to play them. We had some nice coffee one day, and we played these games. And we will tell you all about the 3 games that we brought and played at the end of the video. Mm-hmm. Now, we didn't go to Essen Spiel. That was not where our trip was to, but we did run into board gamers over there.
Yeah, we
4 separate times.
Stopped at a couple board game shops, and sometimes you'd run into Americans there, and they knew our channel. So that was pretty kind of shocking at first, but it's really nice whenever people in the community say hello.
Yeah, so if you are seeing this, I hope your trip was wonderful. Otherwise, for anybody out there who did attend Essen Spiel, I want to hear all about it. Yes. I had so much FOMO while we were on our own trip, just seeing all the posts, because while Essen Spiel was going on, we were already away. And everybody was just talking about all the games that were selling out. I hear Nikosu Dice was gone pretty instantly. So congratulations to anybody who was able to pick up a copy of that. And I'm now forgetting which games were really popular. I think Kutnahora was a popular one. But now it's been some time since the convention, so I'm assuming for anybody who attended and brought back games, you were able to play at least some of them. So please let me know which ones your favorites were, and maybe we can try to play some.
Yeah, 1,000 games over there at the Spiel every single year come out. So it's good to know from the community kind of like which ones should we prioritize, like kind of dipping our toes in, because sometimes there's some gems on there. Maybe we did a list of 10 games that are highly anticipated for us, but there's 990 other games that could potentially be that hidden gem. So
I know one that I would have added.
Which one?
Had we made a hidden gems list? There's a trick-taking robot princess game, I think was the theme.
Okay.
Somebody in our Patreon community was mentioning that they played it and it was really good, and I totally forgot that I had seen that ahead of time, and I was really interested in it.
It's so funny because robot, like when I'm going through that list, the Essen list, I have to sometimes go by titles and themes, even though I don't really care about theme or title.
Right.
But sometimes I just filter through because if I need to just get through that 1,000. So I think I probably passed on that one.
It might have just been a princess theme. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I might be thinking of a different game that was a robot princess. But either way, princess theme trick taking definitely caught my eye. And I know for some members of the community, it was your first time attending Spiel. So even just outside of the board gaming, I would love to hear what were your favorite moments and what did you enjoy about the convention? Because that is one of our favorite ones.
It is my favorite convention.
Probably our favorite convention, and not just because of the board games, but just because of the ambiance. Like the whole experience is so fun.
Everyone's friendly. There's a nice excitement there. You're in Europe. For an American to go to Europe, it's like, oh my God, this place is great.
Yeah,
so,
it's beautiful.
Germany is very, very nice.
Yes.
And now that we're the people are very nice there.
Super nice.
And now that we're more familiar with it, we're enjoying it every single time we go back.
Mm-hmm. So please let us know about any or all of it. Leave us a comment in the description below because we'd love to hear from you. Oh, and also for anybody who attended Spiel, I believe Septima was there. I could be wrong, but I think Septima was there, and we recently released a tutorial video for it. Now, in the video, I was not able to mention that I actually used some music from the official soundtrack. There is an official soundtrack to Septima, and I believe it's for sale. But the music it's actually really cool. But you can apply it, I feel like, to any sort of like Halloween spooky setting.
Yeah.
But when playing Septima, it's so perfectly entwined, I guess. And right now, I believe it's on sale for 15% off. So I've included a link to that soundtrack in the description of the tutorial video, but I'll include it in the description here as well. All right, moving on to a bit of sad news. There's some sadness in the air today because our collaboration with the Meeps is coming to an end. We have some Dexter coin apparel, and this is pretty much the only form of merch that we have. It was a collaboration with a store called the Meeps, and it is coming to an end because their store is closing. So, so sad. It's sad to hear that because Luna, the owner, she's absolutely wonderful. And the apparel is really, really high quality. You know, even before we started our collaboration, we had some of the shirts and stuff, and it was always very soft, very comfortable, very good material. And I really enjoyed the designs. So unfortunately, the store is closing, but fortunately for everybody out there who might be interested in picking up any sort of apparel, even if it's not the Dexter coin, everything there is 50% off. So this is your last chance if you were considering getting any sort of the Meeps. It's not just shirts. They have earrings. They have all sorts of things there. And they also have apparel from other creators there. So if you are interested in this at all, we've included a link for the final time probably to their web store down below. And by the way, if you're not familiar with the Dexter coin, we're pretty much decked out in all of it.
This shirt
is
got a little bit of a stretch to it. This is the unique design that Luna came up with for our collaboration with the Meeps. And Monique is wearing the zipped hoodie.
Yes, this is a zipped hoodie. I'm also wearing I think it's called a racer back. It's like a crop top, tank top kind of thing. It also has all of the shirts for our specific collaboration has the Dexter coin, which is Dexter, kind of like curled up in a ball.
With
because
some,
that's what
gaming stuff.
That's what Dotsons do.
Yeah.
They roll up in a ball, right?
Like a peanut.
So, all right. So before we talk about the games that we played on our trip, as well as the game that we're giving away, let's just talk about what's coming up on our channel.
Sure.
Shall we? Okay. So we have been putting out a few videos recently. We have been putting out a lot of Kickstarters, and the reason for that is because first thing, I am in this industry full time. And because we were traveling. So anytime we travel, a lot of our time gets compressed in terms of filming.
Yeah, on the way out, before you go on a trip, you have to compress film. And then on the way back, when you're done with your trip, you got to compress film a lot.
Right. So, this is something that we talk about maybe once or twice a year, just our disclosures. When we cover Kickstarters, it's always just Kickstarter tutorials. I just teach the game. And now we made some changes actually this year to make it a little bit easier for Naveen specifically.
Oh, yeah.
To decrease stress, right?
Stress and time, yeah.
Because Naveen works full-time.
Full-time, yep.
So this is a bit of an impossible endeavor when working full-time in terms of the amount of content that we put out. So we made some changes to both try to accommodate Naveen's schedule as well as try to accommodate for more types of videos that people tend to like to see. So the changes are, now we're doing these vlogs quarterly. So this one's in October. The next one will probably be in January for the winter vlog. And 4 times a year is way more doable than 12,
yes.
I think, right?
Oh, yeah.
In addition, Naveen, I don't know if you've noticed this, we've announced this in the past, but Naveen was kicked out of Kickstarter tutorial videos.
I saw my way out the door on the Kickstarter tutorials. Monique teaches 95% of it, and I just kind of sometimes will chime in about a little something here and there. And so it just helps with the flow so much better that Monique is doing the pure tutorials.
Yeah.
Also, it allows me to have that kind of time back to focus on my day job.
Right, and also to be able to just be there for playthroughs.
Right.
Naveen is now going to, whenever we need to focus on having to film together, which is before or after work, by the way.
Typically,
so it can be pretty stressful for him. It's just going to be playthroughs, technically. In addition, I try to do solo content when I can. Obviously, recently we've been traveling a lot, and I'm going to be traveling again, so it was a little bit more difficult. But the other thing that we're trying to do, especially moving forward, is we're trying to commit to one non-sponsored review style video a week. That's not always going to be a playthrough, and it's not always going to be perfect. So we might miss a week here and there because of whatever is going on in our lives.
Scheduling, yeah.
But at least one a week, and we will do our best. So that might be a playthrough video. That might be a Let's Talk Board Games, where we do like a mini review session where we cover a few games in one video. But that is our goal. And hopefully that works to sort of cover all grounds and balance out the channel, because all of these things that I just mentioned are necessary in order for this channel to continue.
And as a reminder, for any of our sponsored videos, we always hit the tag that is on YouTube. So there's this little button that says a paid promotion. I kind of don't like it because it has this image of this hand in like a wad of cash. Like there's like some slimy deal going on.
This is what happened.
Yeah, I hate it, but it's the only button that you can select. We also put it in the description in all the videos, as well as I will verbalize it, or Monique will verbalize it in the videos that we feature.
And we personally have a policy to not include any opinionated content, I suppose, in anything that's sponsored.
Exactly.
So with that knowledge, moving forward, Dexter's back, by the way. He's a bit needy today.
Yeah.
We are going to be putting out a Let's Talk Board Games for spooky Halloween-ish games, I guess. They're not Halloween themed, but they are, I guess, with themes surrounding the season.
Yeah, as best as you can do,
Yeah. We're also planning on making a playthrough video for Septima on Halloween. So in a tutorial video, I was only able to cover the basic mode of play, I suppose. But with this playthrough video, we're going to be playing the full game with the expansion.
Yeah, so that's going to be the ritual board. If you're familiar with Septima, it's the ritual board, which is a sideboard. Also the advanced characters or the advanced witches.
The full game.
And then also the omens as well.
And the animals.
That's right.
So we're just including both modules of the expansion in there. So for anybody who is interested in learning how those other mechanics work, I know a lot of people have expressed interest in them on the video itself. Hopefully this playthrough will demonstrate that for you.
Right.
And since we had to prioritize Septima, Fractures of Time is getting bumped for when I get back in town, which is going to be early November, the first week of November or so. Now, the other thing is a lot of people expressed interest in a playthrough of Apiary because we just did an overview and a review because that was all that we had time for. So we were able to film it. That is going to be going out within the next couple of weeks or so.
Yeah, so Monique has a hard drive full of different videos that we've already filmed.
Yeah.
So that's what she'll be doing in her downtime when she's not hanging out with family.
And the last thing that we will hopefully have within the next 2 weeks while I'm gone is a best 2 out of 3 video.
Yes.
Really excited about that.
Yes.
So this is a video where we're going to be playing 3 games in it, and we're going to try to see who can win the best 2 out of 3.
Hopefully all 3 sweep. For me.
Rude.
I need some wins on my side. So
these are Paolo Mori and I believe Carlo Rossi
yeah.
games. They're all very quick 2-player only games, and so that is why we're able to squeeze all 3 of them in one video. So we'll probably post on the community post when that video is coming out.
Yeah, so the 3 games are Blitzkrieg, Dogfight, and then also Caesar. These are all 20-minute games that are they all play very unique.
Yeah.
But also within that same kind of constricted time frame.
Yeah, they're all like pretty intense, like 2-player experiences, I think. So we're gonna have to think of what the stakes are for whoever wins.
We do need some stakes.
And that is all that is planned for the next couple of weeks. In November, we're going to have a lot more playthrough videos coming out because we're hopefully going to have one out for the Fox experiment. We have one planned for Nucleum, as well as a few other things that we're probably just not going to announce right now.
Right. Okay, let's talk about some of the games we played on our little getaway trip.
Okay.
But before the games we played, we actually picked up a game that I wasn't expecting to pick up when we walked into a board game shop.
A little taste of Spiel.
A little taste of Spiel, yes. I was able to pick up a game called Come Sail Away.
Yeah.
Now, it's still in shrink. Now, this is a Sashi and Sashi game in which I know nothing about it because it's still in shrink. But I do know that this is one of the physically biggest sized games that they've ever come up with. But it does say it is only a 25-minute game, so I kind of like that. I'm really enjoying clever little games that play in that 20 to 45-minute range.
Especially a Sashi and Sashi game that plays in 25 minutes. That sounds like it's going to have good thinky decisions. I'm thinking.
Hope so, yeah.
I'm thinking. We haven't played it yet.
So this was an Essen release. They also had another game called Newsboys, I think, or Paperboys, something like that. That was the other Essen release. So we walked into a board game shop, asked the shop owner, do you by any chance have Come Sail Away?
Well, we looked for it
We looked for it.
We went to, they had like a Sashi and Sashi area, and we couldn't find it.
Well, because we were in the small little card section. So it's just like we're looking for these little cards.
We didn't know what we were looking for.
And the gentleman walked us over. He's like, oh, yeah, we have that. And then he walked us over to the big section and then pulled it off and was like, here you go.
We both went, whoa.
Yeah.
that is huge. It was way bigger than we anticipated.
It was also a day out where I had to carry it for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So it was the only one on the shelf. And I was like, do you think we'll be coming back to the shop? And do you think you'll hold it for us? And I was like, okay, just buy the thing and just kind of suck it up and hold it.
Yes. So he carried it like his baby.
I did.
Which means we need to play this.
We do.
We need to get this played because you went through a lot to bring this home.
My backpack couldn't really fit this thing.
No. So anyway, if you were able to play this at Spiel, please let us know your thoughts. I've heard some other preliminary thoughts saying that they really enjoyed it, which makes me really excited to play it.
Same. So that is Come Sail Away. Hopefully we can report on it very soon.
Yeah. All right. While we were abroad, we were able to play 3 games. They were not all the games that we brought. I think we brought 5.
I think we brought 5 total.
But 3 is pretty good.
3, and they were new to us.
Yes.
All 3 of these were new to us.
All 3 were new to us.
Yeah.
So let's just start with the first one that we played.
Sure. So I believe it's this one here.
No, it's the other one.
Oh, it's the other one. Okay.
This is a game that I think
Tricks.
was also at Essen Spiel. I think it's new.
Ah, yes.
This is a review copy sent to us by the publisher.
There it is.
And it is called Romi Rami. And this is a take on Rummy. If you're familiar with that, I think it's a classic card game, right?
Very classic, yeah.
Where now the funny thing is that both of us are familiar with Rummy, but we're not super familiar with how it plays.
I used to play a lot of Rummy in high school, like in between like passing periods. Like sometimes we'd be in the same exact room and you'd have like 10 minutes. So then you just kind of pull out the deck of cards and we'd kind of gather the chairs around and play.
Okay.
I haven't really played a lot since high school.
Yeah.
So I remember it's kind of like a card shedding set collection game.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to find 3 of a kind and pairs, something along those lines.
Trying to get like runs of like 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, you're trying to set collect.
Yeah.
Is basically the whole key there. And so
points.
that is a similarity here.
Yep.
The difference is in this game there are also contracts. This is a game for 2 to 4 players with a deck of cards that I believe are numbered 1 through 5.
Yep.
With 4 different suits. And so the way that the game works is on your turn, there's going to be a market of cards in the middle of the table. I believe there's always 6 cards. And so at the start of your turn, you always draw up to 3 cards from the market. But they all have to be either the same number or the same suit.
Yeah.
So they have to have some commonality.
Yeah, and by the way, it's not just a 20-card deck. There are multiples of the same card and suit in there. So there might be like, I think 5 of each or maybe 6 of each. I can't remember the exact number. So if somebody takes like the 1 clover, you're not completely out of getting a clover.
Right. And then after drawing from the market, you can fulfill a contract. And so there are a number of face-up contracts, and each contract shows some sort of a set that you need to collect in order to fulfill it. It might be like a 3 of a kind and a pair, or specifically 2 4s.
Or 1 through 5.
Yeah, like a run of 5 cards or something. In addition, each contract will have one of the 4 suits on it, because if you are able to fulfill the contract using cards of that suit, it's not required, but if you can do it, each card of that suit will score you a bonus point. And that's essentially the whole game, honestly. You pretty much take turns doing this until a certain number of contracts have been taken. And then at the end of the game, trophies are also awarded. So trophies will be awarded for collecting the most contracts that show a certain suit or a certain type of hand.
And so the contracts as well as the trophies are all public objectives, so anybody can try to score them. The trophies you score at the very end of the game, but the contracts in the middle of the game, you feel kind of just a little bit of anxiety. You know, that board game anxiety that we all kind of enjoy, and that's why we play the games, is like...
the competition.
It's like after my turn is done and I refilled that open market, things got replaced in there. I'm like, oh no, that's good towards that contract.
Yeah.
Hopefully Monique is working on something else so that when it circles back around to me, I can go ahead and grab those cards and then fulfill that contract right away. So it's a very simple game. This is like I would say family weight, but also one that we both enjoyed. I know I was having fun when we played it.
Yeah, it's a very versatile game because you can play it with anybody. You can play it with people who are not in the hobby. We can bring it to your families and play with your parents. This is probably something they'd enjoy. Yeah. But the tension is going to be in the competition for the contracts as well as competing for those trophies. Other than that, it's a pretty light feeling game. It just feels very smooth, I suppose, to play, right?
Yeah,
and it's fun.
After we played it, I was like, I wouldn't mind playing that again. Like,
yeah.
Like we
back
can
to
just
back.
Shuffle back up and do it again. So I enjoyed it a lot. Monique was very good at it.
No, I think there's a little bit of luck there, right?
There's a little bit of luck
when the
cards
market
come
comes
back.
up, but it was fun. The first time I heard about this game actually was I was recently on a BGG podcast, and Candace, the wonderful host of the podcast, recommended this, and the way that she explained it made it sound really fun, and it's exactly the way she described it. I think she mentioned that her mom loves this game. Like, it's something that she can bring to her mom, which is really nice because I feel like we're always looking for games like that, right? So anyway, that was the first game that we played. It's called Romi Rami, and it was a hit.
Nice. Okay, the next game that we played, this is a 2-player only trick-taking game called Awimbawe.
Yes.
Now, Awimbawe, we picked up at the last Essen Spiel, Essen 2022, when we were there. And this one was the very last game that we kind of rushed to on the very last day of the Spiel.
Yeah.
So we were a little nervous because sometimes you never know. You walk up, you go and traverse an entire floor. You hustle there, you get there, and they say, oh, we sold out of that on Friday. And you're like,
as some of you may know.
Yeah, as you may know. And you're like, oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
But it happened to be there, and this is a 2-player only trick-taking game that plays in roughly about 20 minutes.
Yes, and so this game is themed around the savannah. And by the way, we are always on the lookout for 2-player trick-takers. I feel like it is very hard to design a trick-taking game for a 2-player experience. So we wanted to see what this one was like. And basically, in this game, it has a deck of cards. They're numbered 1 through 6 in about 4 different suits, and then there's another suit that's numbered 7 through 10.
7 through 10, but it's only just 7 through 10.
Right.
Yeah.
And each number is associated with an animal, except for the 7 through 10, because those are technically the trump eagle. The way that the game works is each player has 4 cards face down, with 4 cards face up in front of those, and then they also have a hand of cards. And so on your turn, you can play from either your hand or any of the face-up cards that are in front of you. Now, in this game, one player will lead the trick, just like in a standard trick-taking game, and then the other player is required to follow in the suit if they have it. And then when you play a card, you can now also activate the power of the animal. So each different animal type has a different power associated. And they're going to be stuff like the elephant doesn't have a power because it's a 6.
It's the number 6, the
highest number. But the mouse, which is a 1, beats any elephant. And then there's the cheetah, which allows you to determine who plays the trick first in the next trick. There's one that allows you to move 1 card to the bottom of a stack that's in front of your opponent. There's another power that allows you to block off a card from your opponent so that they cannot use it in the next trick. And then the hyenas are interesting because they have the highest amount of crowns on the card, because at the end of the game, at the end of the round, I suppose, it's going to be whoever collected the most crowns wins. But the thing about the hyenas is there are 4 of them in the game, and if ever one person collects all 4 of them, then they immediately lose. Right. So that is another way that you can just lose mid-game.
You can kind of throw, like if you see that your opponent is trying to score, maybe they scored 2 hyenas, you can try to force them to take the other 2.
Yeah.
and then automatically they lose the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, if you cannot follow suit, then you have to play the eagle, which is the 5th type of suit. And that's supposed to be considered the trump. But the way that this game does it is if you were to play an eagle, and you have to have it, by the way, obviously, you have to have access to an eagle to do this. But if you play it, then you can decide to either flee or fight or flee.
Yep.
If you decide to fight, then it becomes a trump and you automatically win that trick. Some of the eagles have negative points, so that is
Most
something
of
to
them
consider.
do. Yeah, I think only the 7 is neutral.
The lowest.
Anything above it, the 8, 9, 10 eagles will have negative crowns on it.
Yes.
So it's like you're winning and then you're taking control of the trick,
Yeah.
but then you're also taking negative points.
Right. At what cost, right?
what
You have to
cost?
kind of calculate the net on that. But if you decide to flee, then you are saying that I lose this trick, you have to take it. So maybe you're giving your opponent the eagle that has a lot of negative points on it. And that's pretty much it. Whoever can win 2 rounds first is going to be the winner. And so I think that the game does a lot of interesting things. You know, when I was reading the rule book, I thought, oh, this is really interesting. It has beautiful artwork. I really love animal-themed games. I really liked the hyena mechanic.
With the, like, if you get all 4, then you lose.
Where you lose. When I was reading the rule book, I really liked the sound of it, and I also really liked the eagle mechanic, where you can decide basically if you fight or flee.
Yeah.
But there was just something missing from the game that was making it so unbalanced.
We were finding ourselves with every single round that we were playing, one player could just kind of stiff arm and force somebody to just give up free
Clothesline.
cards. Yeah. So there's no way to kind of like, if you're behind on suits and your opponent knows and they can just keep forcing you to just give up cards.
Yeah.
There's almost like no way to kind of break that cycle.
Right.
Even though you're trying. There is that one card that if you do, or that one type of animal that if you do play it, you get to determine who goes first. But if you don't have those, then you're kind of just stuck.
I think there's only like 4 of them or something, right? Like there's not very many opportunities to reclaim the lead of the trick. So you can lose control quite easily. And if you lose control, you can really play your opponent. So, if I regain control in like the 3rd trick and I can see all of the cards that Naveen has in front of him, and maybe I played out all the cards in his hand, well, I can just like basically play him out for the rest of the round.
Yeah.
So that didn't feel too good.
No.
For either of us.
Yeah.
I think that was the bottom line, that we felt like there was a lack of control in this game that you really sort of need in a 2-player game. Maybe it was missing like a wild suit, like something that gave you a little bit more flexibility than just the cheetahs.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see it a little bit more retooled, like a 1.0 to a 2.0 version
maybe.
of it. But yeah, there's just some element of just that lack of control that did not make the experience very fun.
Yeah, or clever.
Or clever.
You sort of lost the strategy when you were just getting played. You're just when I say that, you're basically being forced to play what the other player is forcing you to play, and you don't have a choice, and then you're just out of the round.
Yeah, and then like sometimes like it's like, well, this card has 3 crowns on it, this one has 2, and this other one has 2. And I have to give you one of these passively because I don't have the suit that you played. So I guess here's 2 crowns now, and then they just slowly bleed you out.
Because the thing is, if you can't follow suit and you don't have an eagle, then you just discard a card. And then it goes, you can't even use the animal power on that card. So it's tough.
Yeah,
it is tough in those situations.
I think that would be the thing. Like you should be able to at least use it to kind of usurp and kind of change things up. But
yeah, maybe.
Really, really tough to do.
Yeah. And the other thing about it was the thing that I found interesting hearing the rules was the 4 hyena endgame criteria. But it didn't really come into play because I felt like even if Naveen won 2 hyenas, I just have to win one of them for that to not even be considered. Like it's not even something that we ever were even close to running into. So anyway, those are our thoughts on Awimbawe. It was a game that I really wanted to love, but unfortunately it just didn't hit for us.
Didn't hit the way we wanted it to.
Yeah. All right, the final game that we played on our trip is probably the quirkiest themed game I have ever played.
It's probably the most unique themed game I've ever
in my
played.
life.
Yes.
It is another 2-player card game.
2-player only game. This is called Kune v Lakia. I'll read the whole thing. A Chronicle of Royal Lapine?
Lapine?
Divorce. Foretold. A Chronicle of a Royal Lapine Divorce Foretold.
Yes.
Kune v Lakia.
Naveen, please tell everybody what is going on in this game.
Okay, so these are royals. There's Kune and Lakia.
They're rabbits.
They are, royal rabbits.
Uh-huh.
They once were in love.
Yeah.
But then no longer after an argument.
Well, the important thing is they got married. They were in so much love that they were married.
Correct.
Yes.
However, there is now a divorce, and this divorce is happening.
Yeah.
And so basically, players are going to take on the role of either Kune or Lakia, and you are trying to divvy up your belongings,
your properties,
all your properties, and try to appease the royal court to side with you in this great divorce.
Right.
That is the theme of the game.
It's like a rabbit divorce soap opera card game.
Exactly.
That's basically what it is. But they're royals, so the stakes are even higher. So very, very strange theme. And the artwork complements it as well.
Yeah.
This was a review copy a while ago.
A long time
ago from Ludi Creations. And so in this game, the way that the game works is each player starts with a hand of property cards. Now, if it's your first time playing, there is a set for Kune and a set for Lakia that you can start with.
Yeah.
But as you play the game, the more strategic it becomes, you can choose to draft them at the beginning of the game. And then in the center of the table are all 5 members of the royal court, I believe.
Yes.
And they all start off as neutral. They're not taking either bunny's side.
Yeah, they're just like, look, we heard about the divorce. Let's just hear it. Let's just hear what you have to say. So they are all on kind of even ground.
Yes, and one of your goals is to try to get them onto your side by, on your turn, playing a card that matches the symbols that are on the card itself. So at the bottom of each noble or royal court member, there's a set of symbols. And on the cards in your hand, there will be symbols at the bottom as well. So you just have to play cards that match their symbols, and then it'll get them one step closer to your side.
Yeah.
So if that member was neutral, then now you flip it over to their red side if you're Lakia, I believe, or the blue side if you're the other bunny. And if they were already on your opponent's side and you brought them one step closer to your side, then they become purple, which is ambivalent. And to get them fully to your side, you have to play cards again to win their vote again.
You essentially have to double appease. So you can't it doesn't go from red to blue.
Yes.
There's always this like middle stepping point. So
right. It's a tug of war.
It's a tug of war. So your opponent can see like, oh, you're taking the king? Okay, well, I gotta reappease the king.
Yes.
Because he's gonna be worth a lot of points to me.
And this is important for a number of reasons. The first thing is at the end of the game, you'll score points for each member of the royal court, depending on who you are and what your relationship is to them. So it's not going to be the same amount of points. Like I
think Lakia's dad is the king.
Right.
And so he's worth more points to Lakia if the king is on her side at the end. But conversely to that, then for Kune, who is the son-in-law, you want to make sure that the king is not on the daughter's side because then you're trying to starve her of 5 points.
Yeah, the point swing. Yeah, but it's going to be worth fewer points to you. In addition, whenever you take that action to appease one of the court members, they each also have a deck of cards behind them. It's not specific to the court member. It's just the entire deck of cards in the game. You just shuffle them up and then you create 5 stacks. But it's a partial deck building game because you now get to draw a card from their deck and it'll go into your hand to play in the next round.
Right. And then any card that you get, your opponent knows exactly what that card is.
Yes.
So I know we mentioned that the cards have symbols on them, but these are actually multi-purpose cards. Some of them have plot twists on them.
Yes.
Little text that you read, and it might say something like, steal 1 card from Kune on your next turn.
Or it's more like draw a card from the certain court members stack, or there's a lot of different abilities that they have. And on your turn, you're essentially playing a card for its symbols to appease one of the members, or you're going to play it for its plot.
Right.
Some of the cards are endgame scoring cards, which reward you for having another kind of card in your deck at the end of the game.
Yeah, so in this great divorce, Kune, who I think is the husband, he really wants the family dog.
Okay.
And so if you start with the basic game, you will start with the dog in your hand. But maybe if you play where you draft the cards at the beginning, maybe Lakia would start with it. So your goal is like, I get 5 points, or I don't lose points as long as I get that dog back to me. So you have to find different plots and different kind of ways to try to acquire the properties that you really care about, all while still trying to appease the courts, because these different members of the courts, they have different actions on them.
Yes,
and so depending on if they are on your side, you can take their actions, or if they're on that purple in-between side.
Yeah, the ambiguous.
It changes.
Ambivalent.
Yeah, it changes the type of action that you can interact with them. So very clever game. I really enjoyed it.
Really clever. It's definitely hand management, deck building, but very quirky. I've not played a game like this before. Very unique. And it's one of those games that the more you play it, the more the strategies, I suppose, will unfold. There's a bit of luck to it.
Sure,
but
yeah.
I think it all just really, really fits in with the theme quite well.
I will appreciate that it never, when we were all of our plays of it, it never felt like you were getting more turns than I was and vice versa. Yeah, very clever game. I really enjoyed it.
Anyway, I would be very curious to know who has played this game before and what your thoughts on the strategies and all that are. Please let us know. But speaking of this game, we're giving away a copy, 2 copies?
2 copies of this game.
Yeah.
So we are going to be doing a giveaway. This is going to be US only. So if you are in the US, feel free to be part of the giveaway. What we are asking you to do, if you are interested in it, is put in the description, I'm sorry, not in the description, in the comment section, hashtag Kune v Lakia. Now, these are very unique words, so I will be sure to put in the description exactly verbatim how you need to put it in the comment section.
And you just copy and paste it.
And you just copy and paste it, exactly, because I would hate for somebody to not spell it correctly and be eliminated from the giveaway.
Yes. We'll probably have this giveaway run for about a week, so all of the details will be in the description. There is no purchase necessary. Do not respond to any scammers. I'm so sorry.
My favorite disclaimer
so sorry that they
of these giveaways. If you see text me at WhatsApp 917, it's fake.
No.
Don't do it.
Just wait until the giveaway ends and we will post who the winners are in the description.
And so this is for, there's 2 separate copies of this. This is not for a PS5.
Yes. So, no, it's not for the PS5. And scammers do not have access to our description box. Only we can put information in there.
Yeah.
So trust what's in the description of the video rather than who is replying in the comments.
Yes.
But anyway, that was the last game that we played.
That's
Kune v Lakia.
There you go.
All right. Well, that about does it for our fall vlog. Ooh, that is new. We talked about a lot of things today. So just to recap, Essen, if you attended, let us know. What are you playing for the Halloween season? The holidays in general.
I'm still trying to get Dead of Winter played again. It's been a long time.
We'll play it.
Come on, Monique.
Not before Halloween.
Not before.
But we will play it this year.
Yeah.
We got to finish our legacies as well.
Yeah.
So much to do, so little time.
Yeah.
But let us know. Also, keep in mind about the meeps. We've included all the details about the giveaway and everything in the description below.
And thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, please consider subscribing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.